My name is Lindsey. As we were just introduced, I'm here with my coworker, Amy. We're both registered dietitians, and we're very excited to be here today talking with you about the next generation of joint health solutions on denatured type 2 collagen. So a lot has changed in the last year or so, right? The pandemic has made masks synonymous with health. It has completely changed the way we move or move less. So many of us have become a lot more sedentary, and our routines have been very much disrupted. So as gyms closed, as our ability to walk around our neighborhoods was disrupted, our routines really changed for the long term. And this has had a really big impact on global health and wellness. So 31% of the global population has gained weight since the pandemic. We also know that overall step count is down. So when we look at Fitbits, watches, various movement trackers, we see that around the world, step count has decreased. In Mexico alone, we're down 13%. But we also know that while people's habits have changed significantly, there's a desire to change back towards a path to wellness. So there's this reawakening of finding a new movement routine that people want to kind of return to. 26% of people are starting to exercise more than they did before COVID-19, and a lot of people actually feel that exercise will help to reduce their risk of symptoms of COVID infection. We also know that there's another global pandemic in the room, osteoarthritis. So osteoarthritis is characterized by a deterioration of cartilage in your body. And what happens is that cartilage is protecting our bones from pushing against one another. When the cartilage starts to deteriorate, the bones move against one another, and that's when joint pain happens. And we see this often in knee joints, hip joints, shoulders, and feet. And a lot of people throughout the pandemic, because there was weight gain, because they were sedentary, because there was more alcohol consumption, so more inflammation, this joint pain has actually gotten worse. And so 24% of Mexicans today actually suffer from osteoarthritis. So there's an opportunity for us to address this health concern among those around the world. But why joint health and mobility? So we know that there's a health crisis. What does the market opportunity look like? Well, we know that the global joint health market actually is $10 billion, and it's at a 5% growth rate. We also know that over half of adults are experiencing joint pain every month, 44% of which have osteoarthritis. 82% of supplement users are looking for an effective joint health supplement, and I think both of those pieces are key. Effective, they want to know that it's going to work, that it's science-backed, that they feel it working, and they are looking for joint health to help with this global epidemic of osteoarthritis. And then lastly, and very interestingly, many of us know about collagen as a beauty ingredient, but lesser known is collagen's role within joint health and mobility. And because collagen has this amazing kind of market halo right now, there's a lot of interest in collagen for joint health products. So joint products containing collagen are actually among the fastest growing in the supplement market today. Let's talk a little bit about Latin America and Mexico in particular in terms of the market. So Brazil and Mexico happen to be the largest functional food and beverage markets out there today, out of Latin America, and we're seeing double-digit growth. So we know that people are looking to make the calories that they're consuming work harder for them. They want them to be functional, they want them to deliver nutrition benefits. We also know that joint health is a growing market. So we're seeing that similarly within functional food and beverages, this return to wellness, this return to movement is manifesting in the joint health market. And then finally, there's a gap. And this, I think, is the biggest opportunity for all of us today. 86% of Mexican consumers are interested in using joint health products, but only 17% are taking them. That tells me there's a market opportunity. There's something that's not fitting the needs of the consumers out there who want a joint health product, but they're not finding one that really fits their needs today. So what's the solution? What can we do to marry the crossroads of the market and the joint health crisis? We know that there's a lot of ingredients out there when it comes to joint health. There's very classic ones that have been around for quite a long time, like glucosamine and chondroitin. There's newer ones, like turmeric or curcumin, MSM, and hydrolyzed collagen, again, one that we see often time and time again when it comes to beauty health. But not all of these ingredients are created equal, and this comes back to delivering on what consumers are looking for when it comes to a joint health solution. One, they want it to be easy to consume, meaning how big is the dose size that you're kind of taking on when you're taking that joint health product. A lot of the ingredients out there, the dose size is very large in order to get efficacious benefits. And then that brings me to the other piece is, are there any side effects? So if you're going to take on this really large dose that's inconvenient, what if it upsets your stomach? What if it causes swallowability issues? So these are concerns that come oftentimes with many of these ingredients. Back to the efficacy, is there clinical support? So we saw in some of the consumer data that consumers want a product that they know is going to work for them, that it has clinical evidence backing. Not all of these ingredients have that clinical science to tell you that it's really truly going to deliver joint health benefits. And that's what brings us to undenatured type 2 collagen. And I want to talk a little bit about how this ingredient is such an exciting, innovative approach to joint health and how it can help us deliver on a lot of consumer need states in one small dose. And to do that, I want to talk a little bit about collagen in general. So when we talk about collagen, there are multiple different types of collagen in our body. There's actually upwards of 20-something different types of collagen. Type 2 collagen is unique. So many of us might be familiar with type 1 hydrolyzed collagen. This is typically what you see in beauty products. This is very prevalent in your skin. Type 2 collagen is actually the most abundant protein found in our cartilage. So again, this is what protects our bones from rubbing up against one another and brings us back to osteoarthritis. When we talk about undenatured type 2 collagen, what makes it even more unique is actually its structure. So this is derived from chicken cartilage, and it's derived via a very special process. It's low heat, so it's very temperature friendly, and what that does is it protects the triple helix structure of the cartilage. What happens that way is it actually preserves this triple helix, and then these small dots that you see here are binding regions called epitopes. When you consume the collagen, those epitopes allow this triple helix to bind to patches within the small intestine called the Peyer's patch. These trigger an immune cascade, and that's what makes the mode of action, which Amy is going to talk much more about, very unique. Versus a hydrolyzed collagen or a glucosamine that act as a building block, undenatured type 2 collagen works from the inside out via the immune system to actually build and repair cartilage from the inside out. And it's this unique triple helix structure that allows it to do that. So all of these benefits combined are what makes undenatured type 2 collagen incredibly unique. It's very, very clinically studied, and Amy's going to talk a lot more about that and all of the human clinical study publications that are behind undenatured type 2 collagen. We also know that it has a very small dose when we talk about being easy to consume, but also easy to formulate with. So if I want to deliver multiple benefits in a functional food and beverage product, for instance, a 40 milligram dose is all it takes to deliver efficacious benefits. So you could combine it with a lot of other ingredients to deliver an all-in-one powerful formula. And the unique mechanism of action, which I'm really excited for Amy to dive into a little bit more, and how it works from the inside out to help with your joint health. So now that I've talked through kind of the market opportunity, the consumer demand, where we're at with osteoarthritis and joint health, I'm really excited to turn it over to Amy so she can talk through the really powerful science behind undenatured type 2 collagen.
Thank you, Lindsey. All right, so like Lindsey said, we are here to talk to you about undenatured type 2 collagen, and I'm going to take you through a little bit deeper into the mechanism of action, how we produce the ingredient, and the clinical science that backs this wonderful ingredient. So like Lindsey said, there are several different types of commercially available collagen in the marketplace. If we're talking about denatured collagen, you're usually going to be dealing with either gelatin or hydrolyzed collagen. These are produced through a harsh process that uses very high heat, and sometimes it combines that with enzymatic processes. And this disrupts the structure that Lindsey was talking about within the collagen. With gelatin, you end up with a mixture of peptides and polypeptides, and with hydrolyzed collagen, it takes it all the way down to the amino acids and small peptides. And neither of these have those epitopes that Lindsey mentioned available in the product. But when we talk about undenatured or native type 2 collagen, this is a very gentle process. We use much lower heat and no enzymes in the process of making the product, which retains the structure, keeping the polypeptides intact and maintaining those active epitopes within the structure. So this really impacts the mechanism of action that Lindsey started to talk to you about. So how this works is as the product is consumed, it travels down into our digestive tract, and within the digestive tract, there are areas that have a cluster of immune cells. Within those immune cells, the epitopes that are found on the on the undenatured type 2 collagen bind with T cells. They're immune cells within these patches, and they transform those T cells into T regulatory cells. And these are taken up through the lymphatic system into our circulation. And as they travel around the body and they come across a stressed joint, they will initiate the production of cytokines like TGF-beta and IL-10. And this will stimulate the rebuilding, the natural rebuilding process that we have within our joints. So rather than just giving the joint a whole bunch of pieces that it needs, it's telling the joint, hey, you really need to start rebuilding and fixing the things that are broken down here. So to simplify this is really just a 3-step process. The undenatured type 2 collagen is taken into the body where it binds to the Peyer's patches. The cells then are triggered to change into T regulatory cells, which travel throughout the body and teach or tell the joints to build new cartilage. So we found this super exciting. And what does it allow us to say? You know, this is undenatured type 2 collagen is the only ingredient that's clinically shown to improve joint range of motion. And it improved it 15 times better than with the placebo. And it helps your joints to feel younger. You know, it showed that the CDC showed that these measures are going to naturally decline over time. So improving those measures are going to make your joints feel younger. We also showed that it was able to reduce joint discomfort with physical activity. And in improving these step count, we're able to show people are able to, meet those step goals that they've set for themselves. And just a reminder, the CDC, like I said before, the CDC has said that range of motion does decline over the lifetime, about 1 degree every decade. And this 3-degree increase in range of motion with undenatured type 2 collagen can help people to recover over a decade of their joint health. And how is it doing this? So in the final study I'm going to talk to you about today, this is an open label study, so not placebo controlled. However, they did measures of the actual cartilage within the joint. So they took an ultrasound of the joint to measure that space that is the cartilage and to see how it's affecting that over time. This was in 30 patients, osteoarthritic subjects, so their cartilage was already starting to break down at this time. And it looked at this, the supplementation with undenatured type 2 collagen over 24 weeks. And we were extremely excited to hear that there was a 17.6% increase in the cartilage thickness over this time versus in the knee that had pain versus the other knee where there's a 5.6% increase. We also showed a reduction in that total WOMAC score that I discussed earlier. Over time, it gradually came down over the 24 weeks. So we are super excited to understand that, wow, this ingredient can actually change that thickness of the cartilage within the joint. So we're here at a food convention, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the versatility of UC2 in food products. So we know that consumers are looking for opportunities to take their supplements in different ways, in bars, in gummies, in chips and drinks. And how does this ingredient perform when it's added to the production processes that can be pretty challenging in some of those formats? So we put undenatured type 2 collagen in bars, chews, gummies, rice chips, dairy and plant-based beverages, as well as carbonated beverages. And we looked at how it performed as it went through the production process. And we were able to show excellent stability in the bars, the chews, and the gummies, and still really strong stability in the other formats that we tested. Here's a breakdown of those numbers. So you can see 100% of the UC2 was present in the bars, 98% in the chews, and 96% in the gummies. And then 50 to 60% of it still remained in some of these other harsher conditions. So I'm going to invite Lindsey back up here. We're going to kind of give you a quick conclusion, and then we'll be available for any questions that you guys may have.
All right, guys, so we're very excited to take questions from all of you. I think in conclusion, there's an enormous market opportunity and consumer demand for joint health products and joint health solutions that work on the market. And we know that undenatured type 2 collagen hits on many of those consumer need states and truly is the next generation of joint health.
And as I said, this undenatured type 2 collagen has a strong clinical backing. It's shown to reduce joint discomfort, to increase cartilage production, and it's clinically backed over time over many different studies.